wisdom back to us. Brothers and sisters, those even at home, get on your feet as we bring to this podium the wife of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mother Tanetta Muhammad.
Allahu Akbar. Thank you. Happy Saviours Day. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. In the most holy name of Allah, the all-wise, true, and living God, who came to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi, we thank him for raising one in our midst, in our poor, dilapidated nation, blind, deaf, and dumb, one in whom he could put all of his spirit, all of his teaching, and almost all of his power in one man born in Georgia, Sandersville, Georgia, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who is no longer to be viewed as a messenger, one who suffered and went through the portals of death so that we can bear witness soon that he is the exalted Christ, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So we bear witness to Saviors in our midst, and through Master Farad Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, one more Savior was born for you and me, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And through the effort of these great masters, you and I are also little saviors. And it is our duty and our responsibility to proclaim to the world that we who were lost and found in the mud of civilization are now on the rise throughout all of the cities and the states, not only of America, but throughout the Caribbean, throughout Central and South America, throughout the South Pacific, throughout Africa and Asia and Europe, that we are a people who will be raised to the pinnacle of greatness, not in this life, though we will have a little semblance of it, but in the new life to come of the hereafter. Brothers and sisters, I asked the question this morning. I said, what is the meaning of these 80 years? A timeline from 1930 to 2010. The timeline here, this was the answer I received, is not so much where we've been, where we are, or where we're going. But the timeline here of 80 years means that the time of warning and the delivery of the divine message that came through Master Farad Muhammad may no longer be among us to resurrect our people without chastisement and a punishment. If our beloved minister is warning us that the time of blowing the trumpet is growing to an end, and that if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stated in Theology of Time in 1972 that these little voices like trumpets represent the prophets and the messengers who warn the people up to a certain time, and when they begin or end that period of their witnessing, like the trumpet sounds, then those trumpet sounds will become magnified. Okay, will become magnified into another sound that will be emitted from another mechanical instrument that is connected to the great mother's plane that most people don't want to believe exists. Now we're looking at the world tumbling upside down, shaking under our feet. So much snow that people are stuck in their homes and can't get out. Rain, flooding, hail, snow, and now earthquakes tumbling over the land and killing hundreds and thousands of people. Do you think that time is for us much longer? Or do you think that the time of warning is over and that chastisement is in the house? I end by just reminding us that the prophecies of many ancient people emerge with the prophecies and teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Among them, our Native American brothers and sisters, the people of Mexico and Central America, have long prophesied that a new world order will come in to take the place of this present world order. And their count of time takes us to approximately 2-3 more years, to the year 2012 that everybody's heard all about, or 2013. And one of the final and last signs of that changeover is called Olen, which means movement of the earth, and that this world will end with volcanic eruptions, tidal waves, tsunamis, all right, and earthquakes. So if we're living in that time, how much more time is left for us when we're in the midst of the destruction as we speak? The earthquakes, they keep increasing, right? 8.8, they only have registered 9.5 many years ago, a 9.5. What would happen if they increased to 10.5, 11.5, and on upward the Richter scale? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that that was going to come, and that it will tumble all the cities, all the buildings in this country in particular. So we are not in a safety zone. And as we celebrate these 80 years, remember the timeline is telling us something more, not just the history, the exhibit that we saw, 1930 to 2010, but it's also telling us that time is up for us to make a decision. Who will we follow? If God be God, follow him. If Baal, falsehood, is God, then follow that, because we are being separated and divided into groups as we speak. And I thank the scientists and the angels who have come in among us, and that they are taking our records, and pretty soon we will see the ultimate fulfillment of the separation of our people taken to a safety zone, so that we will be delivered from the ultimate destruction of our enemy. Thank you so much, and happy Saviours Day. Salam alaikum.
Steps, ascending higher and higher. Our goal is to hear a message from God through an inner man. Our next presenter was a college protester. He was assigned pastor of his church in February 25th of 1973, succeeding the great Reverend Chester Smallwood. He's a warrior and educator. He's a preacher and most certainly a teacher. He invited the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on February 23rd, 1977, to speak at his church. He was one of the first pastors to invite the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. This is a bold man, a strong man, a colleague and friend and partner of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, a friend of the oppressed, brothers and sisters of Union Temple Baptist Church and the Nation of Islam. Reverend Willie Wilson.